everybody, and welcome back to week 4 of the NFL season. Today we're going to be going over the top 10 plays under 5%. Every single week in these large field tournaments, such as the Millie Maker, you always need to have those sub 5% owned plays. From my research, almost every single Millie Maker lineup has at least one sub 5% play, and usually you need between 1 to 4 of these really low owned plays. So I'm going to kind of highlight my favorite low owned plays at each position. We'll start off at the quarterback position. My favorite sub 5% owned quarterback this week is going to be Russell Wilson going against the 49ers. He's cheaper than he was last week, and we just saw what Aaron Rodgers did to the 49ers. This 49ers secondary is super banged up and very weak. I think Metcalf could have a huge game here. I really like Wilson at this price. He's the only sub 5% owned quarterback that I really like. At the running back position, I went through everybody that's going to be low owned, and there is legit nobody that I like. Best option I could give you is going to be Nick Chubb going against the Vikings. Usually when these like really talented running backs that are pricey are lower owned, historically it's been profitable to play them. But it's just Chubb splits too much time with Hunt, so I don't have a whole lot of interest. Really, you want to get your sub 5% owned plays in the receiver section. So that's where I have a bunch of my plays here, and I'll go over those now. So starting off, we got Robbie Anderson. This week going against the Dallas Cowboys, DJ Moore is going to be extremely popular. DJ Moore is a great player, but he's going to be seeing Trevon Diggs this week, and Trevon Diggs is a true shutdown corner this year. Dallas has been getting beat by the deep ball all year, and I think this is a good chance for Robbie Anderson to have a bounce back game, and it's a great tournament leverage off of DJ Moore. My next favorite sub 5% owned play is Allen Robinson going against Detroit. I know Justin Fields looked terrible last week in his rookie start, but the Detroit Lions are terrible. 2, if Fields is going to get it going, this is like the week that he could really get into his groove playing against a really bad defense, and if he gets it going, it will be through Allen Robinson. He'll be extremely low owned. We rarely get Allen Robinson under 6,000, and this is a perfect opportunity to play him at low ownership at a good price. And I'll quickly touch on this other option just going on with Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall. Also, just another great tournament pivot off of DJ Moore. I'm gonna have very few DJ Moore lineups in tournaments and a lot of Anderson, a mix of Anderson and Marshall. I just think that they are more likely to have a bigger game than DJ Moore this week, so that's where I'll be going. The next best sub 5% owned play is going to be Juju, as long as he's healthy, going against the Packers. I don't know if Deontay Johnson will be out this week. I like to play more if Johnson is out. Then I think Claypool will see a lot of Jari Alexander, and that'll open up a lot more targets for Juju. So again, this is more contingent on some other injuries, but I do like Juju if Deontay is out. This is going to be one of my favorite ones of the week. Michael Pittman going against the Dolphins. Michael Pittman is seeing 27% target share. He's seeing 45% of the air yards on his team, and he still has 0 touchdowns. The last 2 weeks alone, he's had 12 targets a game. He's bound for positive regression here. It's a good spot against the Dolphins. I do like Pittman. I think he'll be extremely low owned this week. Now, my favorite stud receiver that's going to go low owned is going to be Deandre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins could be lower than 1% owned. Nobody will be playing Hopkins this week. Everyone's going to be playing Tyreek, Devonta Adams, and Kupp at the pricey range. Hopkins is going to go completely overlooked. They're in the highest total game of the entire week with the Rams. The over-under is 55.5. And this really comes down to an ownership thing. If Hopkins this week was going to be over 10% owned, I would have 0 interest, as he should be seeing a lot of Jalen Ramsey. However, once he gets to this under 5% range, historically when these stud receivers are really low owned, it's a great opportunity to pivot onto them and fade the really chalky receivers. Like this week, Adams and Kupp could be like over 20% owned. And you can't say that there's a 1 out of 5 chance that Kupp or Adams are in the winning tournament lineup that wins $1 million, but only a 1 out of a 100 chance that Hopkins is. So it's an ownership thing. If you were to tell me all 3 players were going to be equally owned, I would play way more Adams and Kupp. But the fact is, Hopkins is going to go way under-owned, and so I do like him this week. And then the last 2 receivers, it's kind of like a team thing. I do like these 2 receivers this week going against this Colts secondary that has they've allowed the 5th most points to the wide receiver position in fantasy in the entire league. They've been getting beat deep quite a bit. That's why I probably lean Fuller slightly, but I still like both of these plays this week, and I will be sprinkling both these players in my lineups. Now let's get into the tight end position. So at the tight end position, I'm going back to the well with Kyle Pitts. He's burned everybody, including myself, 3 weeks in a row. But now he gets to go against a Washington team that we thought was going to be much better this year, but they have not shown to be very good on defense. They've been getting beat through the air more than most teams in the league this year. And this is finally a time where you'll be able to get Kyle Pitts at like around 5% ownership, as he's been coming in like over 10% all the other weeks. So I think people after 3 weeks of getting burned are going to come off of him, and I'm gonna stick to it. I think he's going to eventually have a huge game, and this could be the week. And then in the same game, I like Logan Thomas as another sub 5% owned tight end. These are my 2 favorite lower owned tight end plays. Logan Thomas is running more routes than pretty much every tight end. I believe he might be running the most routes in the entire league. Now he gets an Atlanta defense. Logan Thomas and McLaurin are really the only targets that Heineke has, and he's looking both their way like every play. So I do love Logan Thomas this week. I love stacking this game up with Heineke and Ryan. Definitely going to have a lot of Logan Thomas exposure this week. If you watched my video last week, you saw Emmanuel Sanders was in my top 10 under 5%, and I made it a rule in all my tournament lineups. I made it a rule that I had to include at least one of these players. So coming this weekend, one of these players I just mentioned, especially the receivers, will be in every single lineup. I have to play at least one. You have to have like a lower owned play to compete in these large field tournaments. I recommend playing one of these low owned plays. Just pick your favorite out of the ones I mentioned. Thank you again for watching. Please leave a like and comment your favorite sub 5% owned play this week. Please subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for the top stacks of the week. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.